Hey guys and girls, welcome back to another beautiful video on this beautiful channel, on this beautiful day. How you guys and girls doing? Hope you're doing great. Today is kind of a special video. We're just going to be working on the inventory. Just make sure it can add weapons and different types of things, right? So that's basically what we want. We want an inventory that can contain all types of items, and we don't care what type of item it is. When we receive it, when we take it out, and when we check our inventory, we can see where every item is. And now it sounds simple, but it's kind of weird and complicated to do that in C++. But we'll go ahead and do that. But before we get started, please check out the description box as always. A bunch of useful links. Follow me on Twitter. Join the Discord if you want. Really helpful. You can find us all over there. Just talking, helping each other out, and also drop a like, subscribe if you want. But let's just get started. So basically what we need to do is what's happening in character.cpp. Well, we're adding an item, and we don't want to be able to add items. We just want to have this item class as a base foundation for our different types of items that we want to have. For example, weapons, armors, healing pots, anything we want to keep in our inventory. But the item itself is nothing. It's just an item. What is an item, right? So we don't want this. We want this to work. For example, weapon, maybe I'll give it 5, 10, and a test. But I want this to work, and I want to be able to print this out in my inventory as well. But for that to work, what we need to do is we need to go into weapon.h, and we need to do this. Let me just do one thing. There we go. What we need to do is we need to change a few things. Get damage, const, that's fine. I need to change this to const. Okay, the toString. The same thing in weapon.cpp. So I'm going to keep these close on hand. Just going to close these because I don't use this side too much right now. There we go. So I'm just going to do get type as const, get name as const in item.cpp, and boom, boom. Put all of these as const basically. And this is because it's gonna screw up some stuff for me later if I don't. Basically, it's gonna think this reference is trying to change something, but if I have it as a const, it's gonna say this function cannot change anything of any of these variables, member variables. So that's basically what it's saying. And the equals 0 is very important here on the toString function, because it basically says this class is now pure virtual. This is this class is abstract. This is a pure virtual function, and this class is abstract. That means we cannot create any object of this class. We can only use it as a base class for other classes. So it's a lot more abstract now, basically, just like the name says, abstract class. Also, I need one more thing, const. Let's see, const. Where am I? Here, item pointer. It doesn't have to be const though. Item pointer, and also this needs to be virtual. Sorry about that. A virtual const. There we go. And this is a virtual item pointer clone. I'm gonna call it. Okay. And this is also 0. So basically, the clone function is gonna return this item and give me a new item back. And I'm not going to define this toString. Actually, I'm just going to remove it because there's no use of doing the whole toString here. I'm going to do the toString in the weapon instead. So item CPP, looking fine. Everything's fine. I don't need to define this, do I? Let me just see. May not be initialized. That's fine. Item.h. So I'm just gonna put const here. Const. Oh wait, I did it in the CPP. Sorry about that. I have to change that in the. There we go. Equals 0. It has to be in the HPP or the H file. So I'm just gonna remove this definition, and I'm gonna copy this. There we go. Put it in item right here. Cool. Cool, and we need to make this virtual as well. There we go, now it's correct. So now this is an abstract class, and everything here should be working fine. Now let's go into weapon.h, the toString right here. It needs to be const for it to work. And we get the rarity, and we get the damage, and yeah, the name, rarity, and the damage. Now there was one thing I wanted to do about this rarity thing, and what I want to do is I want to actually say std string asterisk. I want to represent it with a symbol and a set of symbols instead of representing it with just a number. It looks kind of cooler, it looks better, so that's kind of how I want to do it, and that feels good to me. You can have it as whatever you want. You can make a bunch of if statements in here saying, okay, if it's 0, then you literally spell out common or whatever you want to do. But for me, this is fine. Kind of a little bar just representing how rare the item is. Anyway, so we got all this working. It should be fine. All the item and everything. Weapon.cpp. Let's just go into character here. Let's see. I can't create this because there is no overrider for clone. Okay, so that we need to create the clone function. This is really important. Weapon pointer clone. This is basically the function. Easy peasy, right? Just gonna define it. And what the clone is gonna help us do, I'm gonna try to explain as best I can. New weapon, this, a copy of this. So this looks kind of weird. It looks really weird, doesn't it? Basically what the clone does is it returns a new version, a new copy of itself, a new kind of object of itself, basically. And now we can have several types of items. Remember, we can have an item, HP pod, armor, weapon, and the computer doesn't know which one is what in the inventory. So if we just look at the inventory here, we have a bunch of items, right? And it's all gonna go haywire here now. Yeah, it's gonna bug out right here. The problem, when we create a new item, copy of this, the computer doesn't know if it's this item is a weapon or armor. It basically is thinking here, what the hell is an item? It's an abstract class. I can't create a new item. Now in our human minds, we're like, oh, it should know what an item is. I'm sending it in as a weapon here in the parameter. It should know what it is, but it doesn't. It doesn't. It just sees it as an item. So I'm gonna use item.clone here, and then let's see, has a qualifiers are not blah 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 const item. So I'm gonna have to remove the const, I'm pretty sure, in the add. Where is the add? Where are we? Inventory.cpp, inventory.h here. I'm just gonna bring it up. I think it was on the other side. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so we need to clean this up. So we can't have const here, const item in here. We're just gonna have item, and that's gonna help us out. So now the item itself is gonna clone itself and put itself into this item, generic item array, right? So the computer doesn't have to think here. It just knows that this item, whatever it is going to clone itself and put it in here. That's basically what it does, and that's why this is so important to have. And when we return the items, that's fine. We're going to return the item itself. It should be able to find a way to see what it is. Doesn't really matter. We'll see how that works in just a minute. Here as well, shouldn't really matter what we're doing. If we get any errors, I'll probably fix it and explain it to you a little later, but this should work as well. I'm just double checking everything. New item, pointers, items, boom, boom, boom. Okay, so if we go into character.cpp, this seems to be working. Let's see, weapon, la 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 la. Initial value of reference to non-const must be a value. That's fine. That's fine. You know what? Let's just comment this out and let's try this quickly. See if everything works without any problems. If we don't try to add anything to the inventory. No, I think I got some error there. Yeah, I got some kind of error. Let's see. Item clone. Item. Here we go. Okay, new item. Here we need to say. Let's see, where is it? Other other items at position I dot clone here, because that was one thing. And then in here as well, I suspect, yep, same problem. Clone right there. Let's just remove this, so it will just clone itself. It will take care of itself. Now if I run this, yeah, it managed to compile that and then just start the game. Character menu, inventory, nothing in the inventory. Stats, I can see the weapon, the rarity that's great. That's really not great. Okay, interesting, very interesting. Let's just look into that. Okay, so I'm thinking we can just look at it quickly now. If we don't figure it out, I'll try to figure it out later. So weapon common, this is where I create it, and when the weapon is created, it sends these in here. Like it should. Get rarity, const unsigned int, get item, get rarity const. So let's just go in item.cpp, get rarity, that's fine. Weapon.cpp +1, I think, is the problem here. Let's just see. I don't know why I did a bunch of those crazy things, but two stats. Okay, yeah, that's insane. All right. I know probably what the problem is, but we'll check it out. I'll fix that for the next video. But thank you so much for sticking with me. I hope you learned something about the clone and why we use it. Just think about it. Otherwise, watch my tutorial videos on dynamic arrays. Pretty sure I explained it there, and on inheritance as well. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Check out the description box. Follow me on Twitter. Drop a like. Subscribe if you like the content. Also, join us on Discord if you want. But yeah, thanks. See you guys and girls in the next one. All right, bye bye.